Hi friends, welcome to VENKI'S Academy. Download VENKI'S Academy mobile app from Play Store on your mobile and get all concepts for free. No need to pay a single rupee.
Welcome to VENKI'S Academy. Today program about the PO's concern, which is concerned the norms of the banks, the syllabus and weightage of the reasoning part. Whether it is concerned to State Bank of India POs, SBI POs or IBPS POs or IBPS RRB POs. So I am discussing especially for reasoning pattern for totally questions which consists of 35 questions within the span of 20 minutes only. Now, about the reasoning for the past few years, so they have been asking like these norms. See the comparison between the total time factor and the total time. 20 minutes only the composite time for only for the reasoning pattern. Within the span of 20 minutes, we have to solve 35 questions as aggregator. Depends upon your convenience. So here the reasoning which can be classified into two types. Previous class that I have discussed the reasoning which is considered the clerk's part. Right now we are discussing the probationary officers, POs. The PO probation officer job is a prestigious through bank jobs, which consists of 60,000 plus salary, and the responsibilities of the POs is very high as expected than about the public sector jobs. And one more thing, this PO not only consists of the salary, in addition to will he get a lot of allowances through the government. And one more thing, the decision making should be perfect of the probation officer in each and every bank. Then only the bank develops. And according to the norms of the syllabus of the reasoning, the reasoning can be classified into two types. One is a low level reasoning, another is a higher level reasoning. This clerks which consists of only the low level reasoning, but in this officer's cadre, the reasoning consists of only higher level reasoning. What is the technical difference between the lower level and the higher level? Some common concepts will come both for reasoning in clerks and POs, like a blood relations chapter, seating arrangement chapter, syllogisms chapter. Remaining here, other than this clerks, this higher level reasoning is entirely different. Somebody feels that clerk and POs are the same reasoning. No, it's absolutely false information. The PO's reasoning is concerned with the statements. See, in these statements, so many kinds of categories are there in this the syllabus of the POs. Statements, conclusions. In this higher level, all the categories which is concerned to the statement level. Statements, conclusions. That means we can call it as a syllogisms part. Statements, arguments. Statements, course of actions. Statements, acceptance. Decision making. Data sufficiency. Input, output concept. Equalities, inequalities. Fuzzles concept. Implicit program. So these are all actually the syllabus which consists of 35 questions. Perhaps I prescribed more than 40 plus something, but the thing is, as I expected here at an average only, according to this they won't ask 40 questions or 40%, only 35 questions. A part of which the syllabus they will choose any one of these sectors. Okay, now see, first let us go to discuss. Now I had prescribed all the syllabus of exclusive the part of the reasoning, and which sector the aspirant should first touch, because only the time factor comparison, the time factor and the questions which consists of 20 minutes only. Within the span of 20 minutes we have to solve 35 questions. That means he can't touch all the 35 questions. A part of is the 20 minutes, but within the span of time and easily questions, which type of questions we have to feel easy. See, basically I'll give the priority if you want to reach the target of the POs, especially the part of the reasoning part, first an aspirant should give the priority for statements and conclusions for 5 marks. So what is the meaning of statement and conclusions? First we have to touch this concept. Suppose consider about the statements and conclusions part. First of all, the aspirant should touch this statements and conclusions part. Actually, this concept we can call it as a syllogisms part. This concept has been adapted from the Europe country of Europe continent of the Greek country. So the great philosopher of Aristotle has invented this concept of the syllogisms. He is a great philosopher. This statements and conclusions is not concerned with this Indian concept. It has been adapted from the Greek country in the 15th century of Aristotle. The Aristotle has invented this concept for the sake of the humanity. So what is the meaning of statements and what is the meaning of conclusions? So statements, what is the meaning of statements means a complete sense which gives a complete sentence which gives a complete meaningful sentence. What is the meaning of conclusion? The hidden part of the given statement. There is a sentence that is called a statement. The hidden part of the given sentence we can call it as the conclusions. If you draw the hidden part of the given statement, that is called conclusions. But in Indian concept we will call statements and conclusions. Perhaps in the Greek country, that means Europe country, and they will call this propositions and deductions or inferences they will call. Whatever it may be, we can call it as a syllogism. So for the past 3 years they have been asking 5 marks. An aspirant should touch first priority gives to statement conclusions, number 1 priority. So within the span of 3 minutes we can solve all the questions, because statement is entirely not different from conclusion. Statement is nothing but the conclusion. The hidden part of the given statement is conclusion. So we can get to the conclusions easily if you understand the statement. Okay, that is for 5 marks for the past 3 years. Within the 3 minutes we can solve. Then afterwards we can give the priority for equalities and inequalities, second priority. So equalities and inequalities also consists of the statements and conclusions, but it consists of actually this equalities and inequalities concept is concerned with the second class lower syllabus. Perhaps that they have prescribed this syllabus even in pure reasoning also. Just the measurement of the scale on the speed only. The candidate, an aspirant, those who consist of the speed as a measurement, and the measurement of speed only that they will consider. So actually they have been for the past few years they have been giving 5 marks here. So we can get 5 marks also. Second priority, equalities and inequalities. Somebody may have called us this concept as a comparison of ranking, which consists of the statements and conclusions. This is nothing but second class concept, which is output of greater and less, greater or lesser or equal. These are the 3 factors which influence the equalities. Perhaps they will give sometimes mathematical operations, some other times they will give Greek operations, just statements and conclusions. This one is also very useful concept. Within the stimulated time of 3 minutes, we can solve all the 5 questions. So number 1, number 2. Number 3, here which consists of data sufficiency part. What is the meaning of data sufficiency? This is not a chapter. This data sufficiency means all the reasoning contents will conclude this data sufficiency part. Data means here there is a peculiar concept in this data sufficiency. Actually in each and every reasoning part, in each and every question which follows 5 options, objective type. So, but in this concept of data sufficiency, there is the question structure will be different. So people here may feel some difficult, but the thing is, it's a very useful, very easy concept also. What is the meaning of data? Data means given concept. Sufficiency means whether it is sufficient or not. So the given statement, whether it is sufficient or not, we can call this data sufficiency. And one more thing here, there is a logic in this concept of data sufficiency. There is no need to find the answer here for any question. So this data sufficiency consists of all the reasoning chapters. For the past few years they have been asking in data sufficiency, which is concerned to blood relations questions, and as well as distance and directions concern, and as well as ranking concern also. So all the chapters will be including in this data sufficiency. This is a mixing concept, and how the structure of data sufficiency, why we are giving the third priority in this data sufficiency means there is no need to find the answer here. That is the main cause. How the structure of this question means a question which follows two statements, the structure of data sufficiency, each and every question also, 5 questions. A question which follows two statements. So there is no need to find the answer, whether it is possible or not, we have to get the answers. Suppose if you can get the answer, they will give the instructions how to solve, how to mark your answers, which consists of the 5 options, 5 objective. So basically, if you can, they will give a question which follows us 2 statements. If you can get the answer, they will give the instructions number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. How we will mark the answers? Suppose if you can get the above question from statement 1 alone as an answer individually, that means you won't get the answer from 2. That should be concluded. After confirmation, if you can get the answer for this above question from statement 1 alone, we have to mark it answer as a 1. That means you won't get the answer from 2 alone. That is the first option. What about option 2, marking of answer in this data sufficiency part? Suppose for this above question, if you can get the answer, if you won't get the answer from 1 alone, just if you get the answer from 2 alone statement, then we have to mark your answer as a 2. So option 1 alone, option 2 alone, over. What about option 3? How you will mark answer as a 3? Suppose for this above question, if you can get the answer, if you can conclude the answer, no need to find the answer, just guessing only. If you can get the answer for this above question from statement 1 alone, individually statement 2 alone, that means we can get the answer either 1 alone individually, at the same time individually as a 2 alone, then we have to mark your answer as a 3. That means either alone is sufficient. The marking of answer option 3. What is the meaning of this? Option 3 means if we can get the answer for this above question from statement 1 alone as well as alone statement 2 alone also, we are getting answer from 1 alone. Similarly, we are getting answer 2 alone. Then we have to mark the answer as a 3. That means either alone is sufficient. What is the meaning of a fourth option? Suppose for this above question, if you can't get the answer from 1 alone, as a 2 alone also, if you can't getting the answer, perhaps individually not getting the answer, perhaps even if you club both these statements together, 1 and 2 also, then under the same, if you won't get the answer, we have to mark your answer as a 4. That fourth option we can call it as a neither alone option is sufficient. Neither alone is sufficient. Neither alone is sufficient means we are not getting any answer by using the statements 1 alone or 2 alone, perhaps even club both together also, we can't get the answer. For above question, we have to mark the answer as a 4. That means we can call it as a neither alone is sufficient. What about the option 5? So for this above question, if you can't get the answer either 1 alone or perhaps the 2 alone, then if you club both the statements together, then if you can get the answer for this above question, we have to mark the answer as a 5. That means the 5 we can call it as both the statements are needed to solve this question. These are the 5 options. So for the past few years, they have been asking in the bank exams of a higher level. So once again, see in this data sufficiency, if you can get the answer from 1 alone, put the option as a 1. Suppose if you can get the answer only 2 alone, you have to mark the answer 2. What about the 3? So for this above question, if you can get the answer either 1 alone or 2 alone, we have to mark the answer as a 3. That means either alone is sufficient. What about the meaning of a 4? You can't get the answer for this above question for either statement 1 alone or perhaps the 2 alone. Even though if you club both the statements 1 and 2 also, we can't get the answer. That means some more data is required to solve this above question. That means neither alone is sufficient. What about the meaning of the 5? So individually you are not getting answer for this above question. Just if 1 alone is not sufficient, 2 alone is not sufficient. If you club both the statements together, then if you can get the answer for this above question, we have to mark your answers of 4. These are the marking of answers for this data sufficiency. But for the past few years, they have been giving Indian norms. Sometimes they may change this priority of the rules also. So I'm telling for each and every aspirant, before going to solve this data sufficiency, particularly you have to read the instructions. And as they won't give my order, so as I expected right now the given order, sometimes they will change this also. So please read the instructions, then only you have to mark your answer. Here data sufficiency is the concept. Why we are not just we are guessing either one alone or two alone, just by seeing the data only. We are not solving the answer and to find the answer. There is no need to find the answer in data sufficiency. So it may take us so less time. So within the span of 3 minutes or 4 minutes, we can solve all the 5 questions. So the third priority and the fourth priority. So fourth priority, let us come to the decision making part. Decision making, what is the meaning of decision making? So being an officer, we should the decision should be perfect, even though if you got the job of PO. So here, what is the meaning of decision making? These are all the concepts which is practically used in next bright future after getting the job. This is not only theoretically, so it has a very useful concept after your even though if you got the job by using practical experience in this your job field. What is the meaning of decision making? So the fourth priority will give the decision making. What is the meaning of decision making? A company, an MNC company or whatever, the registered company, limited company or private limited company, which needs the manpower. So they will give the notification. Suppose they will give notification. Regarding for that notification, the candidates, those who fulfill the conditions, like there are which consists of the factors of educational condition, age condition, experience condition, written exam condition. So they will give different types of the conditions, and we have to give the judgment. We have to give the judgment whether it is the candidate possible or not for this recruitment. That should be decisions. You should give the decision. Okay, and whether it is possible or not, this candidate is eligible or not. So that is the meaning of decision making. We can easily solve the 5 questions within the span of 3 minutes. So within 3 minutes we have to solve within 5 questions. Next come to statements and arguments, as well as statements and course of action. What is the meaning of statements, arguments? So we are listening these words of arguments in a legal way. That means courts and different types of norms. What is the meaning of argument? What is the meaning of statements? Statements is the meaningful sentence. What is the meaning of arguments? Arguments means arguments which can be classified into 2 categories. One is the weak arguments, and there is a strong arguments. So a statement which leads, it consists of the strong arguments only. That the statements will be stands forever. Suppose the arguments is weak, the statements cannot stand. So that is the main basic here. So we should be give the arguments for this given statement, the arguments which should be strong argument. Then only we can get the 5 marks. Okay. Now let us come to statements and course of action. So what is the meaning of statement and what is the meaning of course of action? So which type of questions we have to face means statements means that is statements in this consideration. We have to consider it as a single case. You should behave like a judge. The course of action is nothing but the judgment. So a case and the judgment in presence of you. So which judgment you will give for this case? That should be universal acceptance. No nepotism, no corruptions. Such a judgment will not. The judgment should be universal acceptance only. Then only that answer will be correct for this case. So this statement's course of action is nothing but you should be like a judge in a court and giving the perfect judgment, being so that is officer's concern. This judgment should be perfect, universal acceptance. That will be the answer. Okay. And let us come to after that input output. What is the meaning of input output? So input means they will give some certain. Somebody feels the input output as a computer basic concepts. It's not related to computer. Input output means which consists of the reasoning part. What is the meaning of input? What is the meaning of output? Input which consists of the group of words. That group of words. What is the meaning of output? They should write the group of words in different code languages. That is called output. So for a given input, the output should be different types of processor, different types of methods are there. And for this given input, some output in some different manner the outputs will be end for this input. Some different manners the output won't end, it may infinite. So different types of inputs are there. Basically alphabetic words are consist of the input, one type of input, and other type the input consists of the words as well as numerical also, which consists of numbers. So for the past few years they will give mixed allegation pattern. That means which words this input consists of words as well as the numerical part also. These two consist of the input. They will give input and write the code in different types of norms, that is called output. And again they will give input, we have to find the output by using this property. How they had written this input in different kinds of outputs, the same property we have to catch and we have to find the implementer to another input, we have to find the outputs, that is called output. This is also easy concept for 5 marks. Next, let us come to the puzzles part. Puzzles, see the puzzles. Sometimes I am not going to suppose do the puzzles or not. That is depends upon the question paper. The puzzles consist of 3 types of categories. One is the easy concept, another is a moderate, and other category is the toughest concept. See, in blood relations, whatever the puzzle we can solve. About consists of seating arrangement. In seating arrangement, what is the meaning of seating arrangement? On what type of questions we have to face in blood relations? A certain group of members which consists of the family members, they will give some certain relation. Again, by using the relation, we have to give the perfect relation with the whom to whom. That is called blood relations, more than asking the puzzles for 4 marks or 5 marks. So we can solve easily without any difficulty. Let us come to the sitting arrangement part. The sitting arrangement part plays a vital role in this reasoning part, whether it is concerned to clerks and POs also. So they have been asking 10 marks weightage of the sitting arrangement part here. What is the meaning of sitting arrangement? Means a certain group of members that they will give, we should make an arrangement of different type of geometrical figures. They will ask about, please arrange this group of members in different geometrical figures like a circle, maybe square, or a rectangle, or a pentagon, or hexagon, like different types of geometrical figures. We should make an arrangement of the given group of members. And one more thing, definitely they will give one puzzle as a circle basis. On circle, certain group of members, we should make an arrangement in this circle. And in circle also 2 types of categories are there. One is facing the center, another is non-facing the center. Some other times they will give a group of members. Some people will facing the center, some people will non-facing the center. So that much of puzzles we have to face in sitting arrangement. Latest trend in this sitting arrangement, including that is facing and non-facing, they will give the blood relations also single puzzle. Such a puzzles will be, we have to face difficult. So don't take the time being puzzles. Okay, whether it is consists of easily cutting the puzzles, you can do the puzzles. Unless if it is difficult, please leave that. It may take so long time. Okay. Now within the span of 35 questions, we have to solve 20 minutes. This is and one more thing. What is the meaning of implicit concept? Implicit. What is the meaning of implicit? Means they are asking 2 to 3 marks in this higher level reasoning. There is which consists of 2 actions. A part of the 2 actions which occur earlier, which occurs later. So that should be implicits also. The type of questions we have to face in implicit. So this is about the officers cadre for the PO's reasoning point. Whether it is concerned to State Bank of India or IBPS concerned, Institute of Banking Personnel Selection concerned, or IBPS RRB also. So my request to all of you, the aspirants, please. By using my better experience in this officers cadre, the aspirant, those who are having a good communication skills, especially for the part of English, then such students are leading maximum questions in this. Out of 35 questions, they are facing easily getting the marks also. But a person, one who coming from the rural sector, he can face the easily clerical questions, but in this data sufficiency, data statements, conclusions, these are all the higher level reasoning. So this type of questions not only in this officers cadre, we have to face in civils and UPSC concern also. It's a very useful concept. Okay, thank you all of you. So about this reasoning part.
Thanks for watching, and please remember to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe down below to our channel. Land to your dream job through VENKI'S Academy.